Today was the day of general elections. And also there was no gathering of the breakaway side, so many saints came out more than other days today. Pastor Kim Hyo-jin, who preached today was his first official sermon on the Moriah pulpit. From his ordination, from when I was ordained until I stood on the pulpit in Moriah, it took 7 years. Founding pastor would right now it's called the Jabez Sanctuary, but while we were doing some labor, physical labor, it was when I went with a pastor eating ice cream at the church store. Founding pastor came to find somebody who would preach in Moriah, and that was the reason he came. So that was when I first was given the opportunity to preach in Moriah. Now, he became a pastor through many efforts and devotion, and there will be a total of 5 pastors who were and will be ordained, and they will all be given a chance. And Reverend Kim Hyo-jin was the first one to preach today. And maybe because he leads praise in Moriah, we would think that he would get nervous, but it was as though he had been ministering for 10 years. He wasn't even nervous. And I said that your very first sermon must be your confession of faith. With what kind of heart are you going to minister? Think about that. Whenever the opportunity comes to preach, that needs to be your first sermon. I said that. And I believe that he prepared today's sermon to be determined to be a true worker of God. Now, 5 pastors will continue to preach, and they're going to do great work. So please listen carefully to their sermons and please pray for them. Secondly, today there was the general elections. And now the ballot count is just beginning, so you might have a heart of concern. But whatever result comes out, just like the pastor preached, this is under God's providence. So I believe that we prayed with all as much as we can. But whatever result comes out, there is God's will beyond what we can comprehend. And I believe if we have to, then we need to put in more effort. So still the ballot count is going on, so there's no need to despair right now. But whatever result comes out, before the public sentiment, we need to understand what God's will is. And then we need to be the saints that can look forward to what God has planned. And I see Elder Ho sitting at the front. And until now, we couldn't introduce him because the election regulations were so strict. And I sent him, "Can I introduce you like this?" And he said, "Oh, it'll cause a big trouble." So now, because the election is over, I can introduce him. But everybody knows that he did not come as a candidate for his personal gain. But I heard that founding pastor told him twice. First was when he entered YTN, and second was when he became a correspondent reporter. But founding pastor didn't say anything specific, but he just said, run for the office. And he didn't even give him any monetary support. So Elder Ho has to do this all by himself. And now he learned that it was time, and he quit his job. And he registered as the reserved candidate, and until yesterday, there was I think he put in all of his effort and played a fair game. Whatever result comes out, he set a very exemplary a model for us. But we will listen to him later. Let's encourage him with a round of applause for all of the work that he has done until now. When I see him wave his hand, he seems like he's already a politician. In the past, he wouldn't do that, but it's very natural now. But with the faith that there is God's will in this, and this is not for his personal gain, but because we believe this is the way for the will of God and for the church, please continue to pray. And lastly, as the church is going through these situations with the breakaway side, many things are happening. But I, and not just I, but the ministers are thinking, what is the most important in this situation? It is worship. Keeping and guarding the church means keeping worship. Even if our schedule is running tight, the worship must not become like a side dish. God is not pleased with that if we think of it as secondary. But when we prioritize worship, God will fill in everything that is lacking. This is what we have learned until now. So if you come out at 6 a.m. or you can't bring your car, and there may be a shift in the situation, but even if as you come out at dawn, that effort is not in vain. I believe God will be overjoyed with your devotion. On Easter Sunday or Palm Sunday, I've been trained to keep them well, and I had some concerns regarding Easter Sunday because you have to come out at 6 a.m. You have to come by 6 a.m. And when founding pastor was around, seeing how just like those times, the cars are coming in, just rushing in, I was deeply moved. And that is an effort, devotion to keep worship, and we must continue to do so. I'm very thankful that many people came out on Wednesday service, but compared to before, I feel that there are too many empty seats. So if we are going to restore the order and authority of the church, then we must restore worship. Whatever happens, what you must prioritize as saints is worship. And when you do so, I believe everything will be resolved and that we will go to the way of victory. You're all we're working hard in all aspects, but worship must not be we must not make light of worship. We see that we are drawing close. The doors are opening. I have that kind of faith in my heart. So please do not despair or be focused too much in only your thoughts, missing the big picture. And the core of all of this, please remember that worship is what restores everything else. So let us strive to the work of restoring worship completely. Thank you.